This is just an unremarkable creepy mask. But I let a disfigured beauty queen wear it. And she turned into a stunning, captivating demon. This is a dull, rusty scythe. But with just a light touch on a popular singer, she became a girl everyone wants to be with. And with crazy items like these, I've got a whole room full. All because I run a forbidden antique shop. As long as the customer pays a cruel enough price, they can trade for powerful abilities. This girl in front of me is my very first customer. Jean Meiting was the beauty queen of Nanhai Tech senior year. But after a fire, her looks, once her pride, were ruined. The worst part is, her best friend, who she saved with her own life, shared her burned face photo in the class group chat. Just to mock her. To be beautiful again, she's willing to pay any price. I walked out of the back room holding a seal. Are you willing to trade your whole lifetime just to be beautiful? A month ago, I took over this mysterious shop. But the price was, I got cursed to recover 12 lost forbidden relics. Until I get them all back. Only on rainy nights. Can I be free for a short while? This customer right here will help break my shackles and be the best hunter to track down forbidden things. Jean Meiting took the seal and lifted her shirt without waiting to stamp it on herself. A second later, a golden light flashed all around her. The burn marks on her face faded fast. Her eyes turned into pink heart-shaped pupils. Ram horns grew from her head, and a heart-shaped tail poked out the back of her jeans. Jean Meiting let out a piercing scream, fell to the ground, and stared at herself in the mirror, terrified. Item 4-18, Succubus Seal. Anyone who uses it becomes the world's most beautiful creature. You traded your freedom for it. Pretty good deal for you. Jean Meiting took a deep, shaky breath, trying her hardest to process what just happened to her. After several minutes, she finally accepted she'd become a demon. Not only is she prettier now, she also has supernatural powers. All it cost was her freedom, right? But what kind of price is that really? You have 7 days to sort out your life. Then you must return here to start work. You can go now. Jean Meiting got up, her eyes now holding a trace of fear when she looked at me. Just like that, you turned her into a demon. That's terrifying power. From now on, this person is her boss. Jean Meiting didn't even think of skipping out. Anyone with sense knows breaking this contract would lead to something way too scary. Honestly, if it wasn't all so strange, she kinda liked being controlled. That punishment and control is her deepest secret desire. Jean Meiting bowed to me and left Shop Zero. I looked outside the store. Drizzly nights are the most mesmerizing. After waiting so long, I finally caught a rainy night and can leave Shop Zero freely to recover the lost forbidden relics. I walked to the back room. My eyes swept over the shelves full of forbidden items. Every forbidden thing in here is packed with weird power. People who get one either gain awesome supernatural abilities or use them to climb up in the world. But when a buyer dies, the forbidden item counts as lost. If kids or friends inherit them, it's not recorded anywhere. Of course, those heirs or friends aren't just normal folks either. If they don't play nice and refuse to return the item, sometimes force is needed. My eyes locked onto that rusty scythe on the shelf. Item 0-3, Reaper's Scythe. I picked up the Reaper's Scythe, went to the antique shop, got in the driver's seat of the vintage car out back, and pulled a little notebook from my pocket. On the cover, Manager's Notebook. This little book records all the Linhao antique shop trades. 20 years ago, Zhang Xiuhua traded half her lifespan for the Siren Gem. Zhang Xiuhua was the singer who got super famous 20 years back and became the pop queen of her day. But 2 years ago, Zhang Xiuhua died of illness at just 38. According to the news lately, her daughter Bai Shasha perfectly inherited her singing talent. At only 20, she's already debuted, and her voice is famous across the country. She has tons of fans. Item 3-11, Siren's Gem. Gives the user the voice of a siren. Looks like Bai Shasha has it now. Nanhai Green Horse Manor. That's Bai Shasha's home. Tonight, all kinds of stars, businessmen and big names are here for the party to celebrate her successful Asia tour. You can hear arguments coming from the makeup room. 2 security guards in black dragged a huge nerd out. Goddess, please, just give me your autograph. Gross, why can just anyone show up at my house? No idea how he even got in. Can losers just stay away, please? Bai Shasha always looks warm and gentle in public, but deep down she looks down on poor people. She says they smell poor, and she's allergic to poverty. Bai Shasha put down her phone and started to touch up her makeup carefully. Honestly, she's not very pretty, even looks downright plain. But she's got a killer singing voice. Her songs always pull you right in, and nobody can resist her. When she finished her touch-up, She gently stroked the pearl pendant on her neck. This world is just one big masquerade. Luckily, I've got the key to backstage. She knows deep down. Everything she has came from her mom's keepsake. Before she passed away, her mom told her again and again to never use that treasure. It's on loan, and one day, its true owner will come for it. Thinking of that, Baishasha's expression darkened. Her gaze grew greedy. Its owner will come to take it? Just try me. This treasure is mine. No one is taking it. Her dad looks like a businessman, but he's actually a kingpin making illegal drugs. Every guard on the estate is a serious enforcer, the kind who's seen blood. Baishasha knows all about it. But so what? In this world, there's no good or bad, just rich and poor. She's helped cover for her dad plenty of times, using her own influence. Footsteps sounded outside the makeup room. Baishasha put on a professional smile and looked back. As soon as she saw who it was, her smile vanished, and she looked resigned. Here to take back what's rightfully mine. Is this some new pickup trick? Get out now or I'll call security. The man walked into the dressing room. He stared at the pearl pendant on Baishasha's neck. Baishasha quickly covered up her hard-earned cleavage, looking totally disgusted. This is for my VIPs to see. It's not for a loser like you. I'm here to take back what's mine. Are you deaf or just stupid? Baishasha sized me up. Suddenly remembered something. I'll pay you. This is mine now. Baishasha thought. This must be some heirloom from this bumpkin's family. Country folks are idiots. They're clueless. They have no idea how valuable this thing is. Baishasha stood up, crossed her arms. Full of smug confidence, she said. How about 1 million? That's right, I'm just forcing a sale. But honestly, it's for your own good. People like you are easy targets holding on to treasure. Someone like you having this thing will only bring huge trouble. You barge in here with a rusty scythe like you own the place. Since you don't appreciate my kindness, don't blame me for getting rough. Suddenly, synchronized footsteps sounded at the door. Big guys in black suits started to show up. They appeared at the dressing room entrance. I showed a hint of worry. Does reclaiming forbidden items always have to be this much hassle? Baishasha caught that worry instantly. She sneered nonstop. Regret it? Too late. Some people in this world aren't folks like you can mess with. Holding on to that useless thing. Am I supposed to get tetanus or something? I didn't answer. The Reaper's scythe gently swung at security. Next second, something shocking happened. That security guard just dropped dead on the spot. Not a sound from him. Dead. Gone just like that. Just like that, dead. That's impossible. As everyone stared at me in shock, I took out an old ceramic jar. Number 3-01, Soul Sealing Jar. The Soul Sealing Jar stores soul energy. It seals souls. Rule 0 of the antique shop. Number 3. Every month, the shopkeeper must deliver some soul energy to the forbidden statue in the basement. Regular souls converted in the jar become the energy that the statue needs. Then something creepy happened. That guard was clearly dead, but his ashen face started changing, showing pure horror, like he was experiencing a nightmare. The other guards were scared out of their wits. Before they could react, a purple arc flashed in the air. All the guards froze. One by one, they dropped. Their corpses contorted in terror. After finishing, I turned to the now traumatized Baishasha. She was shaking all over. Then she suddenly dropped to her knees. Please don't kill me. I have money. Lots of money. Money. That's the last thing I care about. You have no idea what your mom went through to get that pendant. What she sacrificed. Of course you don't and you never will. Because secrecy was part of the deal. Frantic, Baishasha ripped the siren pearl from her neck. Here, take it. I don't want it anymore. Seriously, I don't want it. I know I was wrong. I didn't take the siren pearl. Instead, I crouched down. Lifted Baishasha's chin. I like keeping things simple. But you just had to make it a mess. Baishasha kept shaking her head, full of regret. I didn't give her a chance to beg anymore. With the Reaper's scythe, I gently tapped Baishasha's body. She instantly collapsed. The siren pearl slipped from her hand. I could have just taken it back and let Baishasha get her voice back. Without the siren pearl, her performance at the party will be a disaster. That'd be the perfect payback for her disrespect. But that's just not my style. Instead, I'll bottle Baishasha's soul in the soul splitter jar and offer it to the sculpture in the basement. Then, the man walked out the dressing room door. An old World War II era car appeared out of nowhere. He got in the car and vanished mysteriously. Am I still alive? Baishasha muttered to herself. She saw the dressing room scene. A bunch of dead people. She was among them too. No, I'm already dead. Am I a ghost now? Suddenly, a door appeared in the sky. Bright lights shone through. Bai Shasha instinctively floated toward the door. Higher and higher. Earthly things stopped mattering. Then, a terrifying force pulled from the other direction, dragging Bai Shasha's soul toward another door. She looked down. Saw a vintage car driving through the night. At the wheel sat that terrifying man, holding an open ceramic jar. Evil energy poured from the jar's mouth. Bai Shasha freaked out. Desperately rushed toward the door above. But the pulling force only got stronger. And finally, several shadowy hands burst from the jar, yanked Bai Shasha's soul, and dragged her bit by bit into the jar. Her spirit's face was twisted in terror. Creepier still. Her body showed the same expression. Exactly matched her soul's face. Sweetie, come out. Everyone's waiting for you. A chubby man walked in, beaming. His name was Bai Lidong. He's a big boss in the South Sea underworld. And Bai Shasha's father. Bai Lidong entered the dressing room. His small eyes went wide. Corpses everywhere. The weird thing was, there were no wounds. Just horror on their faces. Like they'd all been scared to death. Sweetie, sweetie. What happened? Who killed my daughter? Who killed my daughter? I'm going to kill your whole family. I swear I'll wipe out your family. Then Bai Lidong suddenly noticed. The pearl pendant was gone from Bai Shasha's neck. He wiped away his tears. His mind was racing. That pearl was his wife's keepsake for Bai Shasha. Bai Lidong had a sharp eye. He spotted right away. That pearl wasn't ordinary. Must be a centuries-old jewel. Priceless. His wife even mentioned it before she died. She said it was borrowed. Someone will come pick it up later. His wife also told the father and daughter. They absolutely can't offend that person. They must send them off with full respect. Bai Lidong scoffed at this. I'm a top boss in the South Sea underworld. One of the best. Why should I be respectful to anyone? If my daughter likes it, it's hers. Who dares take it from me? I'll come find you. I will definitely find you. And make you pay for my daughter. 3 a.m. I returned to antique shop number 0. I put the Grim Reaper's scythe and soul sealing jar back on the shelf. The front hall was empty. Only dozens of brass candlesticks hung down from the dark beams. At nightfall, the candlelight comes on by itself. No need to light them. My gaze landed at the main door. It was still raining outside. The night hadn't faded. After a few hours, it'll be dawn. If I was still out there, something terrible would happen. Because I'm cursed by antique shop number 0. I can only walk the world on rainy nights. The man pursed his lips. Following the brass candlestick-lined stairs, he walked up to the study on the second floor. Books from all around the world sat on the shelves. Books are what curators here use to ease loneliness. The only pastime to kill time. Besides the brass rotary phone on the counter, inside antique shop number 0, there's nothing to contact the outside world. A smartphone with internet is useless here. Just like a brick. Then I sat in a pearwood chair and took a notebook from the desk drawer. By the light of a brass candlestick, I wrote in the notebook with a fountain pen. 2.5 weeks since I took over antique shop number 0. Finally saw my first rainy night. Today was a good haul. Traded a forbidden item. And managed to recover a lost forbidden relic. Since I took this place over, I got in the habit of writing a diary. Not for drama, but afraid that in endless years, I'd forget the time. Or that even time would forget me. The last curator has already broken free of life and death. But still looked numb and crazy. In the end, it's all the shop's damn curse. Every month, the curator has to offer enough soul energy to the forbidden statue in the basement. If not, it's eternal doom. Every curator, just to survive, went mad squeezing buyer's lifespan to feed the statue. But they ignored their main duty to recover forbidden relics. The last idiot actually lost a full 12 of them. Losing them deepened the curse. Now I can only leave the shop on rainy nights. Total self-destruction. Right now, my biggest dilemma is I can't leave antique shop number 0. I need to find a way to break this. Some way to recover forbidden relics. Without leaving the shop myself. While still staying inside. Rain kept hitting the ground outside. I breathed in the fresh air coming through the window. My mind drifted. All previous curators kept trading forbidden relics for soul energy. Basically, lifespan. Because soul energy has always been the rarest thing for curators. After all, each month, they have to feed the basement statue with soul energy. If they traded enough soul energy, it felt like a holiday for the past curators. But this short-sighted thinking just let even more forbidden relics scatter out there, and left you full of regret in the end. Man. He thought of Jean Meiting, who traded away the succubus seal today. What if I change the deal rules? No longer just taking lifespans, but trading forbidden items for loyal freedom. Then the proprietor would basically have a group of powerful subordinates. With those followers around, whether retrieving or containing forbidden items, everything gets much easier. Thing is, right now, I can only leave number 0, the antique store, on rainy nights, so getting and containing forbidden items is super hard. The worst part is, I have no idea when the next buyer with a forbidden item will die. If a buyer dies, the forbidden item in their hands is considered lost. If I don't get it back in time, the curse on me gets deeper. Soon it'll be like torture. Even if I'm immortal, it's still living hell. But if buyers help retrieve forbidden items for me, or contain new ones, my curse can actually be removed. My eyes began to brighten. Why not build a group with the buyers as the base? Start an organization. In this group, everyone owns a forbidden item. They all pledge loyalty to me. Meaning, it'll be a supernaturally loyal crew. Only 2 kinds of deals from now on. Sacrifice your soul to please the sculpture, or devote your loyalty and become my agent. I'll call this group the Society of Taboos for now. The mission is simple. Help me recover lost forbidden items and hunt for new prey. Every forbidden item is terrifying until contained. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called taboo. Even if members of the Society of Taboos have forbidden items, they might not even beat those things. So I'll still have to handle things myself sometimes. After all, I can't die, and I can use whatever forbidden items from the antique shop as I want. In any field, I am the scariest forbidden thing in this world. He paused, biting his lip, gold light streaming through his eyes. Society of Taboos members need to help me retrieve and contain forbidden items. So, they need real identities in the normal world. Membership screening has to be strict. I don't need useless nobodies. I want the rich and powerful. People who have serious influence in the regular world. Only they can pave the way for me everywhere. Build a comfortable hunting ground. Forget other countries. Just take Xia country's society alone. No money, no connections. And you can't do anything here. So, I need Society of Taboos members with real power. Now I just have to wait for Jean Mating to show up. She'll be my first trump card. Private room, Golden Sea Dragon Hotel, South Sea. Flight attendant major. Senior year girls are having a graduation party. Everyone's had quite a bit to drink. The vibe is wild. Class rep leads with a smile. Let's all talk about what we want to do next. As soon as jobs come up, everyone chimes in. I got nothing lined up, so I'll go wait tables at Hololand. I passed Sichuan Airlines interview, heading to training in Chengzhou the day after tomorrow. What about you, class rep? You've been trying for a public job forever. I got lucky this time. Made it into the Public Security Bureau. Once I get my diploma, I report in. Cui Xinhua listened and laughed inside, but still pretended to agree. I'm jealous you all have such freedom. Unlike me, I've already been picked by director Zhang Beiwei. I'm about to enter the industry and start acting. The whole room went silent. That's Zhang Beiwei, a big shot in showbiz. Everyone looked at her differently right away. All jealous. Cui Xinhua loved that attention. She kept showing off. Director Zhang's coming to pick me up himself tonight. Just wait and see for yourself who the real deal is. A true big shot. Bet it's only because Jean Mating didn't make it. Otherwise, it'd never be your turn. That hit Cui Xinhua's sore spot perfectly. Her eyes turned instantly bitter. She's from the countryside. And to look pretty, she always copies Jean Mating. But no matter how hard she tries, everyone just prefers Jean Mating. Fei Xinhua sneered at the short-haired girl. Jean Mating's got that slutty look all over her face. With that look, what can she even do? Star in a horror movie? You're lying. I saw her yesterday. She's even prettier than before. Unlike some people, whose pics are all filtered. Well, then tell me, if she's not disfigured, why won't she show up? Mating just texted me. She'll be here soon. We'll see who's the real Snow White. Hearing that, Cui Xinhua's smile froze. About Jean Mating getting disfigured, Cui Xinhua already spread the story all over Nanhai Tech. But she never mentioned what actually happened. A month ago, Cui Xinhua went out shopping with Jean Mating. There was a sudden explosion in a store. Jean Mating got her face burnt. Because she protected Cui Xinhua. Cui Xinhua thought once Jean Mating lost her looks, she was useless. So, she kept trash-talking her lately. Jean Mating. Is she coming to expose the truth and get back at me? These days, money and power are everything. As long as I'm Zhang Beiwei's lead actress. Who cares if I'm heartless? Jean Mating won't even be worthy to carry my shoes anymore. The private room door opened then. Cui Xinhua looked over in fear. But it wasn't Jean Mating. It was a thin, arrogant middle-aged man. All the girls stared in shock. That man? They've seen him on TV all the time. He just won the Gold Bear at an international film fest. Director Zhang Beiwei. Cui Xingyue saw the looks on the other girls' faces. And felt smug inside. She stood up, strutting like a cat, shaking her hips toward Zhang Beiwei, and hooked his arm. She said in a sweet voice, Director Zhang. Why'd you come pick me up so early? Zhang Beiwei looked annoyed, totally ignoring everyone else. It's going to rain tonight. We have to start shooting as soon as it rains. If I wasn't worried about you messing things up, you think I'd come pick you up myself? How long are you planning to hang out with these people? His words were arrogant, not caring about the girls at all. But the girls all knew. In front of people like him, they didn't matter. Directors always have their beliefs. In the industry, people say director Zhang Beiwei doesn't believe in the drama god, doesn't honor bodhisattvas, ignores Taoist gods, but worships the rain god only. Every time he starts a film, it's got to be raining. When the rain first hit the ground, that's when the ceremony started. The girls exchanged glances, their eyes growing meaningful. Everyone thought Xian Yuchui was really favored. Turns out, the director never really cared about her. Actually, their guess wasn't wrong. Zhang Beiwei just isn't interested in Xian Yuchui. She's obsessed with acting. She even insists on personally choosing every extra. A few days ago, they were looking for the female lead for Fox Demon Antique Shop. After a whole month, they still hadn't found the right one. Fox Demon Antique Shop is about a 1,000-year-old fox demon running an antique shop. The main character has to be beautiful, captivating like a fox demon, and carry the weight of 1,000 years. But every woman at the audition just tried too hard to be sexy. Not what she wanted at all. That breathtaking, truly seductive vibe. So with no good options left, they could only pick the most basic, tacky fox spirit type, and just go with it. Right then, the door suddenly opened. A silver bell voice rang out. Sorry, I'm late. Everyone turned toward the voice. Everyone froze. It was campus beauty, Meiting Jean. She wasn't disfigured at all. In fact, she looked stunning. Same face as always, but now almost too perfect. Her eyes sparkled with irresistible allure. Every move she made just radiated this charm. Meiting Jean was always pretty bold and flirty. Every night, she'd insist her roommates watch her movies with her. She's fiery, but definitely not promiscuous. In her own words, no guy has ever conquered her. But now, she's like a different person. Even the girls blushed and got nervous at her charm. Xian Yuchui stared at Meiting Jean in disbelief. They both went to the hospital together back then. She saw Meiting Jin's face get ruined with her own eyes. How did this happen? How did she get so beautiful? Did she get plastic surgery? But could she heal this perfectly in just a month? And what about that magical, seductive vibe? Where did that come from? Xian Yuchui was nervous. Scared Meiting Jean would expose her in public. She quickly tugged at Zhang Beiwei. Director Zhang, let's go. Isn't the opening ceremony about to start? But Zhang Beiwei didn't budge. When Xian Yuchui looked up, she saw Zhang Beiwei staring at Meiting Jean. He looked at her like she was a priceless treasure. His heart sank. When he looked at Jean Meiting again, his eyes were full of resentment. Zhang Beiwei suddenly shoved her aside. Eagerly, he turned to Jean Meiting and asked, Miss, do you have a job right now? Faced with Zhang Beiwei's sudden invite on the spot, everyone was stunned. After all, Director Ming is famous for being a total workaholic. Everyone in showbiz knows he loves his work more than women. But Jean Meiting politely turned him down. Sorry, Director Zhang. I've already promised my boss. I'm starting tomorrow. Miss, even if you signed with a Fortune 500 company, you should know what really matters. Think it over. No other job could be better right now. Wouldn't it be great to be my lead actress? Are you worried about paying a penalty fee? Just tell me which company it is. I'll go talk to your boss myself. Director Zhang Beiwei. Personally resolving an actor's contract issue. This is gonna blow up online. If it were me, I'd be head over heels for Director Zhang. Jean Meiting can't explain that the place she's joining is an antique shop full of forbidden stuff. She can only turn him down again. Sorry, Director Zhang. I really can't go. I already have a job. Director Zhang's going to these lengths. Aren't you being a little ungrateful? That company you're joining, no matter how impressive, can't compare to having Director Zhang personally support you. You have to realize, working with me is way more promising than your current boss. Just then, the door opened. Everyone looked over. It was a strange man. His long hair was jet black. He had a tall, lean frame. Blue sapphire tassels hung on his chest. The sapphires looked pure and clear. It seemed to be some kind of magical tool. He was incredibly handsome. Those amber eyes were calm and deep. This was the antique shop owner, Suzuki. He ignored all the eyes around him and went straight to look at Jean Meiting. Sorry. You need to start work early. Come with me now. The reason I'm here is because it's a rainy night. Normally, it's not this rainy in South Sea during the fall. Rainy nights are rare. He would never waste a night like this. Recovering forbidden relics is the top priority now. Coincidentally, tomorrow is when Jean Meiting was supposed to start at Lin Hao Antique Shop. So why not let her get familiar with the job tonight? He could just show Jean Meiting the ropes now. The girls here looked at me curiously. After that conversation, they realized this man was Jean Meiting's boss. What's so special about this company that Jean Meiting would give up a shot at stardom with director Zhang? Honestly, a boss calling you out for overtime this late. What kind of good company does that? Cui Xingyue was secretly pleased. Sun Meiting, you're gorgeous, but not too bright. I'm following director Zhang. You're tagging along with some no-name boss. It's obvious who's gonna make it, right? Cui Xingyue then decided to curry favor with Zhang Baiwei and turned on her boss defender mode. Jean Meiting, you're really clueless. Director Zhang's so kind, but you're just acting all high and mighty. Going with that guy. What future will you have? Totally ungrateful. Saying that, he distanced himself from Jean Meiting first, in case director Zhang took it out on him. Not giving Jean Meiting an out. Making sure she couldn't just leave with Zhang Baiwei. That little trick was obvious. All the girls there could tell what Cui Xingyue was up to. They kept glancing back and forth between Jean Meiting and Suzuki. Strangely, Jean Meiting looked at Cui Xingyue with a bit of pity in her eyes. Facing the taunt, I didn't even spare her a glance. I just said, I'm in a hurry. Come down with me right now. Jean Meiting obediently walked up to me. Don't you have any manners? Shouldn't you say goodbye to director Zhang first? The next second, Zhang Baiwei hurriedly pushed Cui Xingyue aside. He nervously walked up to Suzuki and bowed nearly 90 degrees. Why are you here? The girls slowly opened their mouths in shock. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Director Zhang was so bold before, but after meeting this young boss, he turned completely humble. Lin Mu glanced at him coldly. You know me? You really forget everything except money. If it wasn't for your help back then, I wouldn't be here now. If not for his help, Director Zhang wouldn't be who he is today. Who's Director Zhang again? A superstar director known worldwide. But this guy looks barely over 20. So, is he some super rich heir? Just how lucky are you to know someone like him? Suzuki frowned. Speak clearly. Zhang Baiwei bowed even lower, leaned in and lowered his voice. I once traded a few books with you, and I know you have many looks, but I always remembered the tassels you wear. Suzuki understood then. This director Zhang once traded at shop number 0. He thought for a moment, and finally recalled Zhang Baiwei's deal. Zhang Baiwei dealt with the previous owner. The items traded were pretty strange. Left a deep impression on him. Once he confirmed his identity, Zhang Baiwei looked even more rattled. I didn't know Ms. Jean Meiting worked for you. Please forgive my rudeness. Suzuki replied casually. I wouldn't waste my time on that. Suzuki is naturally cold-hearted. The antique shop never offered after-sales service. He ignored them further, and just left the private room, leaving Zhang Baiwei standing there, barely daring to breathe. Before leaving, Jean Meiting glanced at Cui Xingyue with pity. I didn't bring up what happened that day. Just wanted to give you some dignity in the end. But why'd you have to mess with my boss? Zhang Baiwei suddenly realized something, and quickly avoided Cui Xingyue like the plague. The rain had already started. There's no filming kickoff tonight. You're not even part of the team anymore. Cui Xingyue's eyes filled with fear. Director? Don't call me director. Don't get me in trouble. With that, Zhang Baiwei escaped like the plague. Who was that guy anyway? Director Zhang Baiwei actually fired Cui Xingyue on the spot. So that's real power in this world. People like that man? Everyone started whispering. They were either guessing Suzuki's identity, or gossiping about Cui Xingyue. Class Rep Li Mingyue was the calmest one. As an observer recruited by the Criminal Investigation Department, he noticed the true fear deep in Zhang Baiwei's eyes, and realized that young man is definitely not some ordinary rich kid. He's the very symbol of taboo and nobility. Li Mingyue secretly burned Lin Mu's face into her memory. Downstairs, Jean Meiting spotted that vintage car. Her jaw dropped. A classic Maybach. She's only seen it in short videos. Cars from that era are usually collector's items for the rich. This is her first time seeing one actually driven on the street. But then she thought about who was in front of her. Suddenly it all made sense. Jean Meiting reached for the passenger door. But Suzuki in the driver's seat glanced over and said, sit in the back. Does the boss not like having someone up front with him? Most guys love a pretty girl riding shotgun. But this boss clearly isn't the usual type. And she wasn't stunning enough to impress him anyway. Alright, Jean Meiting said, then headed for the back door. Only then did Suzuki finally look her way. I wasn't talking to you. Not talking to me? Then who was he talking to? Jean Meiting turned to the back seat, suddenly realizing. She just felt like someone was sitting there. She quickly opened the door and slid into the front seat. The car started moving. It was fast. The weird thing was, they hit every green light. The whole time, they never had to step on the brakes. It was like the traffic lights were working in their favor. Or maybe they didn't dare stop this car. They drove for a long time. Finally, Jean Meiting gathered her courage and asked, Boss, did you ever do business with Director Zhang? I glanced at Jean Meiting. A slight smile appeared on my lips. Not bad. Aren't you scared? I'm fine. Otherwise, work would be a lot harder from here on out. Jean Meiting lowered her eyes to her fair legs. It's not that she wasn't afraid. She was just desensitized. With her kind of nerves. It took her this long to even speak to Suzuki. Which already says a lot about how intimidating this boss is. Zhang Baiwei, 20 years ago. Got something from Lin Hao's antique shop. He got famous all of a sudden 2 decades back. Was it because he bought something from you? I nodded a little. Pretty much. Jean Meiting got interested immediately. What was it? I smiled slightly. And said slowly. He traded his ability to have kids for a few lousy books. According to the records. 20 years ago Zhang Baiwei walked into Lin Hao's antique shop. He wanted a good story to make into a movie. But he was scared to die. He didn't want to trade his soul. So the former shop owner had no choice but to give him some novels he'd written over many years. To Zhang Baiwei. Back then, Zhang's wife was already pregnant. So he used his fertility to trade. Honestly, that's not bad. A lot of people in this world would love to have kids. Men or women. They'd trade years of life for the ability to have kids. The power of the soul isn't just for trading taboo items. Fertility, health, kindness, even wickedness, can all be traded at antique shop number 0. Just not with normal antiques. Of course, wickedness is worthless. The manager would never trade for useless stuff like that. Jean Meiting's face was full of shock. He would have never guessed. Zhang Baiwei got famous by making a trade. I glanced at him. Like I saw through what he was thinking. People like him are rare. Because very few can find shop number 0. Only those at rock bottom, with serious luck, can make it here. Once Jean Meiting took it all in. She asked, so what are we doing tonight? Retrieving a forbidden item. 10 p.m., night falls. On Nanhai Hill. A bunch of fancy sports cars sped down the mountain road. Engines roaring. Female passengers screaming. Pumping up those rich second-generation racers. They floored the gas. Even howling wildly. The fastest was a Bugatti Veyron with a red-haired young punk in front. You're on fire tonight. You could be racing professionally now. You guys don't know. Our boss Xiao is in a great mood tonight. Why? Haha. Because my sister's almost dead. The radio went silent. Humph, isn't your own sister dying something to be happy about? 100 billion in assets will all be mine. My parents are just stupid now. Leaving the company to a woman. Just because she studied a bit longer than me. Congrats, boss, on your sister's death. But by the way, there's a strange car catching up. Seriously? There's racers this skilled in Nanhai? What's he driving? Looks like a Maybach. But boss Xiao, see for yourself. You mean what, some fancy car? Better than mine? It's already past us. Heading straight for you. The red-haired guy checked his rearview quick. And froze. It was a Maybach W3. Unless you love cars, few would even know or recognize it. Because it's got a classic nickname. Vintage car. It's a pre-World War II antique car. So how is it here? It's all rusty. Paint's faded. What's something like that doing out at midnight? Did I just see a ghost? The red-haired guy quickly figured it out. Must be some rich guy souped up an old vintage car. Turned into a real beast. Humph, got to admit, you're loaded. Getting your hands on this relic. And making it look like this. But you think that kind of thing can take on a real sports car? You kidding me? Try beating me next life. But that vintage car. Still caught up to the red-haired guy. He looked at the vintage car, not backing down. But the moment he did, his eyes went wide. He lost control and hit the guardrail. But lucky him. He didn't die. Just bleeding from his head. He crawled out of the flipped car. The red-haired guy looked at that car. Its flickering taillights. His eyes full of fear. His legs shaking. He saw something he'd never forget. The car was like 2 worlds at once. A man was driving up front. With a beautiful woman in the passenger seat. Everything looked normal. But the creepy part was, in the back, there were foreigners dressed in Renaissance clothes. Looked like a family of 3, sitting perfectly still, all half-transparent, covered in blood, faces ghostly pale, all flashing him these weird smiles. From now on, besides retrieving forbidden items for me, you gotta watch for potential buyers too. Jean Meiting looked at the red-haired guy lying in the road, face full of terror. Is he a potential buyer? I've got the forbidden item job down. Boss Lin explained it real clear on the way. But how do I find potential buyers? Not him, his sister. She's in deep trouble. But has top social status. I like that. Nanhai City is huge. Driving from the southern outskirts to the northern edge basically means crossing the entire city. Normally, for a bus at highway speeds, it would take about 2.5 hours. But with Suzuki at the helm of the ghostly vintage car, it took just over 20 minutes. That wasn't even the car's limit. Any forbidden item can't be used too much, or else its original deadly nature might resurface. Even so, with a bunch of forbidden relics, the driver could pretty much go wherever he pleased. As long as all the curses are lifted, anyway. The ghostly vintage car stopped at a courtyard in the north suburbs. Looks like some tycoon built a retirement spot out here. It's super quiet for miles around. Not a soul in sight. All you see is green scenery. Not bad at all. The only thing was that the open gates led to an empty courtyard. White paper money scattered in the center. Looking further, you'd see a coffin in the main room. A young man in mourning clothes sat by the coffin, looking gloomy. No relatives, no friends staying the night out of respect. Just him, all alone. His name is Yang Xiao, the only son of Yang Yaozu. Yang Yaozu's family was from Nanhai, but he built his career in Lianqing. In Lianqing, he's kind of a legend, an underground boss. Folks call him Grandpa Ghost. Not because he's ghost-like, but because he's weirdly unlucky to cross. Supposedly cursed. Back in the day, he was just a small-time gangster under some petty boss. Not very smart, not strong, no real connections. But even so, he became the top guy of the White Dragon Society. Whenever he faced life or death moments, his enemies would mysteriously die. Some got hit by cars, some fell off buildings, others' hearts just stopped, even drowned in the shower. The police suspected he killed them, but after a long investigation, he always had an alibi. That was how he got so famous. Some say Grandpa Ghost used dark magic, others say he used curses. Either way, you'd best not cross him. A week ago, Grandpa Ghost died in his sleep. Competitors took over the White Dragon Society's turf, and enemies all moved in for the kill. Even his friends kept their distance. Relatives too, no visits at all. Yang Xiao figured out how cold people can be in just a week. Used what money he had left to buy a van, and brought his dad's coffin back to the old house in Nanhai. His eyes were bloodshot from lack of sleep, staring blankly at the autumn wind, holding his dad's photo, all alone. Suddenly, there was a light at the gate. Car headlights. Yang Xiao looked up, and light came back into his dull eyes. Not just a passing car. They came here on purpose. Yang Xiao has already given away all his family's wealth. He satisfied the desires of enemies and rivals. So it's not enemies here to bring bad luck. That means they came to offer condolences. Slowly, he saw the visitors more clearly. A man and a woman. The man wore a dark robe with embroidered dragons and wide sleeves. The outfit looked pretty old. It's worth a lot. Definitely a collector's piece. The woman was stunning. Wearing a black coat. She held a black umbrella behind the man. Jean Meiting followed behind Linmu. She eyed him quietly. She wanted to see what this mysterious guy was like. And how he recovers forbidden items. Would he just get straight to the point and ask? Or show some supernatural power? So the other side would hand it over willingly. Limu paused in front of the altar. Looked up. Looking at the young man whose tired face was still full of hope. And then glanced at the 3 sticks of incense on the burner. Yang Xiao stepped out of the morning hall. He put on a tired smile. Are you friends from nearby? Yang Xiao wasn't good looking. His thin face was marked with several scars. His voice was sharp and high. Like a circus clown trying to grab attention. Pretending on purpose. Linmu replied. Something like that. Where are you from? South Sea. Yang Xiao froze. He suddenly thought of something. Did my father ever borrow anything from you? Yes, my father had something for you. Please wait a moment. Yang Xiao hurried inside. He picked up a black wooden box. Respectfully handed it to Linmu. Suzuki nodded slightly. Then opened the black box. Inside was a small straw doll. Number 5-2, a Jinx doll. Give this forbidden item the user's blood. It kills as instructed. My father said, if he ever saw you, he had to tell you something. He said he lived his life with no regrets. Linmu paused. That wasn't meant for me. It was for the previous manager. The last manager couldn't handle it anymore. Too much pressure and curse from Lin Hao's antique shop. So he transferred the shop to me. Yang Yaozu's deal was wild. No idea what the last manager was thinking. He traded the Jinx doll for his morals. And what good are morals anyway? Soul power is way more practical. No wonder he cracked under pressure. If he traded like that, paying soul power to the forbidden statue in the basement every month, it would be tough. Can I make a deal with you? Your father didn't play by the rules. Why do I feel chilly all of a sudden? Is this what they call killer intent? Boss Lin is angry. So scary. So dangerous. So attractive. Jean Meiting squeezed her thighs together. She secretly glanced at Li Mu, thinking she might have some strange kink. It's not undeveloped. She just hadn't met this kind of man yet. Fine. Call him master? According to deal rules, buyers can't talk about the deal with anyone. But it's clear now. Yang Yaozu told his son about it. Isn't he afraid I'll kill his son and end the Yang family line? Suzuki suddenly realized. Yang Yaozu had already lost his morals. Someone like that doesn't care about his son's life. He really was carefree. What do you want? I want mysterious power. I want to live as freely as my father. Ha. I've seen the cold truth of the world lately. Brothers kicking me when I'm down. Girlfriend cheating and leaving. I look up to my father. He might have been a total villain, but people feared him his whole life. He always lived on his own terms. I can give you that chance. Talk to my assistant. Suzuki needed forbidden items. He takes back forbidden items himself and collects new ones. If he gets a thug like Yang Xiao, he'd gain a strong assistant. Plus, Yang Xiao already has some connections. Just fallen on hard times. If he got back on top like his dad, he'd be on a whole new level. Normally, it's impossible. But with powerful forbidden items, if you're smart, you can take off. Just gotta be smart. Lin Mu finished speaking, then turned to leave. Dad, I'll live even bolder than you. I'll be tougher and meaner. This is your room from now on. No cell signal in Shop 0. Tomorrow you can go out and meet Yang Xiao. Wow, it's a fancy Chinese design. Like an old-time noble lady's room. So pretty. And do you cook? Yeah, I've always cooked for myself. There's food in the storage room. If it runs out, go buy more. Boss, where should I put this? Put it downstairs with the others, sorted by the forbidden number. The first digit is 5 for the Jinx doll. So put it on shelf 5. If you hear anything when you walk past shelf 5, just ignore it. Everything on shelf 5 is haunted. Which means, everything on shelf 5 is just physically dead, but their souls remain. Check the guide I left in your room for details. It explains all the forbidden numbers. Ghosts? Kinda creepy. But I'm the boss's personal succubus now. Nothing can scare me. Boss, is there anywhere I'm not allowed to go? Don't go in the basement. There's a forbidden statue down there. That statue is different from all the other items. Forbidden items usually can be used by the manager after they're collected. But this statue, the manager has to feed it soul power. Let's see. Tomorrow, I need to feed the statue soul power. Stay away from the basement for now. Suzuki always wanted to get rid of that thing. But the basement door only opens at the start of each lunar month. After making breakfast, go find the red-haired guy's sister tonight. I need her to come to the shop for a deal. And after Yang Yaozu is buried, Yang Xiao can come over. Got it, boss. Understood. Not a bad haul today. Found 2 potential forbidden club members. And recovered a forbidden item. But since Yang Yaozu died, his forbidden item had just become lost. So that means, I still have 11 lost forbidden items left to collect. The last manager, Li Qinglian, once said, if 13 forbidden items are lost, the curse gets worse. Suzuki felt a bit stressed. No way to know when these buyers might die. If 2 die at the same time, the curse will get even stronger. Might not even get out of Shop 0. Suzuki thought of the statue in the basement again. Tomorrow I have to feed it soul power again. Luckily, there's still some soul power left in the sealed jar. Should last 2.5 months. Which means, in the next 2 months, I need to get more for next month. I can't believe I'm basically immortal. But I've still got performance pressure. Next morning, breakfast was already on the table. Jean Meiting had already gone out for the task. If she's good enough, she can bring the red-haired guy's sister here tonight. Then our second club member is set. Suzuki usually has breakfast, but not today. It's the first day of the lunar month. Time to feed the statue in the basement. Today's all about giving it soul power. Suzuki couldn't wait. Really wanted to see the statue. He grabbed the sealed soul jar off the shelf and headed down the back stairs to the basement. At the basement door, the old black wooden door was open and unlocked this time. Suzuki glanced into the abyss-like darkness. Then he stepped inside. The moment he entered the basement, the vast space, with 365 bronze candlesticks placed about, suddenly erupted into green flames. Suzuki scanned the room in surprise. The green fire gave off no heat, and even felt a bit chilly. He knew the forbidden statue was inside. He walked forward and opened the soul sealing jar. The stone casing cracked open, revealing a white jade skeleton. It wore tattered black robes, clutching a small black box, and sat upon a golden throne. Seeing Suzuki approach, the jade skeleton slowly raised its head. A terrifying pressure hit him. If an ordinary person were here, they would instinctively kneel and kowtow. The weak-willed might even die of fright. The previous manager said, "The shop's most terrifying item is this forbidden sculpture. You must kowtow 9 times when entering." Suzuki found that ridiculous. He wouldn't kneel to anyone, not even a living god. "Settle down now. At most, just deepen my curse. But you, statue, will never get another drop of soul power." The skeleton stared at Suzuki, then at the jar in his hand, and finally lowered its head in surrender. Suzuki opened the soul sealing jar. The soul power materialized, flowing out in milky white currents. The skeleton seemed to start breathing, as though soul currents entered its mouth and nose. Code 0-01, the Emperor. The leading 0 means it's related to the gods. Is this really a god's remains? Gods are quite different from the myths. I've never heard of a god called Emperor. 10 minutes passed. The skeleton mechanically drained the power and lowered its head once more. Suzuki watched it for a long while, then left the basement with the jar. "Miss Ya, you should just sign this. Your body is already failing. Why keep fighting? Giving the group to young Master Xia is your best option right now." Xiaoli refused to give in. She wanted to build a global brand, one the whole world couldn't live without. If she gave it to her deadbeat brother, then this 200-year-old family legacy would be close to its end. She wanted to give it to someone else, like a capable executive in the company. Bloodline wasn't the priority. The brand's survival was everything. But she couldn't get a message out. Her phone was taken days ago. She was the only one on this floor. Lately, no doctors or nurses even visited. In other words, she was under house arrest. This is the shareholders' wish too. If I sign, the group goes to Xia Qiming. He's just a spoiled child. The shareholders will eat him alive. I only wish he could just be a happy heir, instead of drowning in this mess. "Don't be ungrateful, Miss Xia," young Master Xia said. "If you sign quietly, he'll let you die in peace here. But if you don't blame him for playing rough. Remember, he owns Oasis Hospital. He can make you beg for life and pray for death. It would be very easy." Xiao Li's eye twitched. She stared at the lawyer in disbelief. She thought the shareholders had taken over the hospital. She was wrong. The shareholders' betrayal was a slap in the face. But her brother's betrayal sent a wave of rage to her head. "After mother died, I cared for him so deeply. What a cold-hearted fool." The lawyer felt he'd made his point. He looked at her with a sneer. This once high and mighty elite was now beneath his feet. The feeling was incredibly satisfying. "Think it over, Miss Ya. I'll check back tonight. If only a god could save me." Though she never believed in gods, deep down, she hoped for a miracle. Suddenly, the door opened. It was a nurse. One who radiated a strange charm. "Hello, Miss Ya. Why is she so calm?" Other staff were always respectful, or even timid. "Wait, something's wrong. Since a few days ago, no nurses or doctors have come to this room. You're not hospital staff." "Correct, Miss Ya. Security here is very tight." "How did this fake nurse get in? At such a critical time, a mysterious stranger sneaks into my room. Is she a trained assassin? Has someone finally lost patience?" Centering. "I'm from the arena. I already know your situation. ALS and congenital heart disease. You're on the verge of death. What do you want with me? Why now? Why would a secret society member suddenly seek me out? Maybe this is my chance to flip the script. You're lucky. My master noticed you." This stunning woman, who looked like a high-level killer, was actually a servant. "What kind of organization is the arena? Your master must not be very smart. Otherwise, why notice me? As you can see, I'm trapped here. My life is nearly over. I can't provide you with any help." Xiaoli was mocking her own plight. But the woman in the nurse outfit suddenly giggled. "It's because he pities you. Why else would he care? Master loves a good show. Especially when an ant finds a new life. Be thankful for your tragic fate. Otherwise, you'd never even hear his name. Let alone see his face. What does new life mean? Can he actually cure me? And why say, I'd never even hear his name? Hearing it is a blessing? Is he a global tycoon? Or some top government official? You should be honored. To perform for my master. Drop your cheap little schemes. Just be grateful he glanced your way. Somehow, Xiaoli didn't feel insulted by her words. She had a strong intuition. If she met this master, she could escape her fate. Xiaoli trusted her gut. It was this sharp intuition that built the World Dream Empire. She wanted to meet him. Even if my intuition is wrong, that master can't heal himself. The World Dream won't die because of that. It's in my hands. I still have time to find a proper successor for World Dream. How can I meet your master by inheriting you? Jean Meiting let out a sigh of relief. She was originally just a senior in college. Facing someone powerful like Xiaoli, she was actually pretty nervous. He's worried about messing up Suzuki's first task. I got a lot of things from the boss today. No time to chat. The address written above is Lin Hao Antique Shop. Tonight's your only chance to see my master. Go ahead. Jean Meiting stood up. She swayed her waist and walked out of the room. Xiaoli stared hard at Jean Meiting's back. After she left, he quickly grabbed that paper and memorized the address. I'm a dying cripple. How can I leave Oasis Hospital to see the boss? I must meet her. World Dream can't be destroyed by my hands. Xiaoli thought fast. He used all his strength, grabbed the cup and smashed it against the TV. About 2.5 minutes later, 2 security guards rushed into the ward. They're trained professionals. They're sensitive to sounds like this. Seeing Xiaoli unharmed, the guards relaxed. If Xiaoli tried to kill himself, every guard would get punished. Call lawyer Zhao. Tell him I agreed to sign the contract. But you need to take me somewhere. To pick up my dad's belongings. Don't worry, I'll be back in an hour tops. He can wait in my hospital room. The guards looked at each other. The leader stepped out and dialed a number. Let him go. As long as he signs, anything else is fine. Could this be a trap? What if there's someone there who knows him, and he gets help? You guys aren't watching him? It's fine if he's behaving. If he tries anything, just force him back. If he says anything he shouldn't, just bring them all back. Yes, sir. Can't believe there's such a rundown street in Nanhai. It's worse than the old district. Do people really live here? You gotta be kidding us, right? No way anyone lives here. You've never heard of Anxiang Street? Only old Nanhai folks know about this place. Everything you see now is completely authentic. It's from the Republic era. Saved since the Republic times. This is the most well-preserved Republic Street. This is actually related to World Dream Group. 80 years ago the boss of World Dream was Xiaxia. Back then, the Republic government owed World Dream money. They gave this street to World Dream Group. To pay the debt. Gave it to World Dream Group. Why hasn't this street been developed? They claim historic preservation. World Dream is banned from destroying these homes. So, officially it's World Dream's. But it's basically the government's. Guess Xiaxia really got played. The security captain felt at ease. He was worried Xiaoli might pull tricks. But now, nothing to stress about. How could anyone live here? Someone from the competition association would never show up here. Is that woman a scammer? She hates World Dream and came to humiliate me. Oh, not leaving. Turns out someone does live here. Xiaoli quickly looked over. Sure enough, not too far ahead, there was an old-fashioned 2-story house. 2 classic red lanterns hung by the door. Xiaoli kept looking around. There was a sign above the entrance. Called number 0 Antique Shop. Alright, bring Mr. Xia down. The security guard next to Xiaoli got out fast. Grabbed the wheelchair from the trunk. Roughly put Xiaoli onto the wheelchair. The other 2 guards both got out, standing on each side of Xiaoli. I want to go in by myself. No way. We need to watch you at all times. Xiaoli struggled inside for a bit. He's meeting the mysterious boss. Not supposed to bring these guys in. But he had no say. And no freedom. Just went along with the guards. Alright. Can't believe Xiao's family has such a cool place. Stuff in here must be worth millions. Xiaoli's eyes were full of shock. He used to be Nanhai's richest kid. Now he's Nanhai's top tycoon. He knows his stuff. Everything inside is an antique with serious history. Even the stairs, tables, and chairs. Moves like this. Rare even across Xia country. Anxiang Street is such a place. Why'd there be an antique store like this? And I totally didn't know about it. Guests, please take a seat. The 3 guards kept staring at Jean Meiting. Their eyes almost popped. That figure, that waist, those legs. They felt a certain part getting restless. And quickly sat down. The boss will come down soon. Warm up first. What's up? They told us to watch out for people meeting Xiaoli. Hey hey. This hot little chick. We'll keep an extra eye on her. What I mean is, we tell Lawyer Zhao. Xiaoli talked to the hot chick. Said stuff he shouldn't have. We just grab her right away. Yeah, mess with her a bit. Would be totally worth it. And her boss. We could kidnap them too. Anyway, I got this chick locked down. Xiaoli looked really upset. He could only give Jean Meiting an apologetic smile. Jean Meiting got it. He gave her a reassuring smile. Then looked at those 3 guards. Like they were already dead. Just then, calm steps came from the stairs. A man in a long black Han robe with silver patterns appeared before everyone. He had a cold presence. Sat at the head of the table with no expression. Jean Meiting stood sweetly behind him. Xiaoli tried to straighten her back. She's a proud woman. When facing strong people, she liked showing her confidence. But her health was so bad. Even sitting upright was tough. The store owner is so skinny. Would be easy to grab and take away. That chick is in for it tonight. Boss, have some tea. Boss, that's a weird name. Suzuki didn't think much of it. He ignored the 3 security guards. His deep eyes looked at Sherry. You're in worse shape than I thought. Sherry shivered. She wanted to say something, but glanced warily at the guards nearby. With me, it's less complicated. Don't be scared. Can you cure me? Are all rich people crazy? Unless the King of Heaven shows up, no one can save you. Sherry was just asking. He was simply hoping a little. He saw the man in front had no expression. He forced an awkward smile. Then can you save the World Dream Group? If Xia Qiming inherits World Dream, he'll be controlled by the shareholders. By then, World Dream is done for. Can you help me break free? My affairs will be handled properly. My top people will team up with the League. I can cure you. Ha ha ha, guess rich people are fools. Sherry is a fool. The antique store owner is a fool too. The guard captain motioned to his men. He watched Suzuki playfully. This show is pretty good. Gotta watch it closely. They figured Sherry already said the wrong things. That boss and the flirty woman can't escape. What did you say? Suzuki took a pendant out of his pocket. It was an upside-down cross. Pendant number 0 to 13. The mark of Cain. God punished the first murderer. Etched a mark on his head. Cursed him to live forever. The murderer didn't think it was a curse at first. He saw it as a blessing. He used his long life to build an empire. He was a count once. Achieved all his goals. Enjoyed every luxury. He finally felt loneliness. Finally understood immortality is the worst curse. Then death became his new goal. He finally found a way to break the curse. The curse? He copied the mark onto a silver plate. Made it an upside-down cross. That's how he got free. That upside-down silver cross was named after him. Called the Mark of Cain. In the 15th century, Count Dracula found the Mark of Cain. That's how the vampire race was created. But now vampires are gone. Still, if you own the Mark of Cain, you can live forever. Trying to fool a kid, huh? You look so serious. Ha ha ha. So you're a fake antiques dealer. Tell a believable story. This is nuts. You signed a contract just to come here. Just to see this person. Now you know you've met a fraud. Don't you feel cheated? Foolish Sherry stared at Ling Ling. Her first reaction was disbelief. But common sense told her. This isn't what it looks like. The other owns a huge antique shop. Has a stunning female slave. He wouldn't be that bored. Messing with a sick person. Is this a supernatural event? How do I even get it? Haha. He believed it, actually believed that story. How much would you pay for this new chapter? What price are you willing to pay? Anything, whatever it takes. It's all fine. As long as I survive. Pledge your soul here. Swear loyalty to me. I'll give you immortality. I accept. He belongs to you now. Starting now. You're part of the League. With my protection, not even death can drag you to hell. Suddenly things changed. The guard captain's laughter stopped. His gaze shifted from shock to confused. Then turned to pure terror. Sherry stood up. She actually got up from the floor. Her skin turned pale. Her thin body filled out with some mysterious power. The sick, weak woman suddenly turned into a top-tier queen. Lady. A chilling aura radiated from Sherry. That powerful CEO of the South Seas really crawled back from the edge of hell. Sherry could hardly believe her body's change. He'd been weak since childhood. Never felt so strong before. He made a mental move. And his body changed again. His eyes shifted from black to red, like two blood-red moons. Bat wings ripped through the back of his shirt, exposed to the air. Suzuki came back to his senses, continued reading the notes of the owner. He wondered who set him up. That's why he became the antique shop manager. Because this antique shop needed a boss like him. Suzuki searched for the Wishing Stone's records. The Wishing Stone was used twice. Second time was for a change, but the first use wasn't recorded. Just mentioned it was used. The Wishing Stone, first used by the very first manager, back during the Tang Dynasty. No one would be that bored to make a wish about me 1,400 years ago. Me becoming the manager of store number 0 should just be coincidence. Who even knew me 1,400 years ago? If someone did mess with my fate, I'll use every method to make them stay inside the soul-sealing jar. Recover lost forbidden items. Search for new forbidden objects. This world has so many taboos. They're all terrifying. And so fascinating. Actually, the boss is the biggest taboo. Yeah, beyond human imagination. Just the boss's collection. Kim Mighton loves Sherry's tricky style. Her league rank is way above the proud CEO. Much higher. Before, the only way I could approach Sherry was to serve him. Put on a show for him. So you gotta work hard. Take back your place as World Dreams leader. Only then, you can help the league more. I willingly gave up my soul at the antique shop. Now, I've also become the female slave of that being. Really grateful Mr. Lin noticed me. This aunt struggling near death. I'll do my best. Sherry saw a business opportunity. He became a league member. So he's entered the supernatural world. World Dream Group, stuck at a plateau. Found a new path thanks to the league. I'll soon take control of Dream World again. I'd do anything for the company. Where is everyone? Call them again. Lawyer Zhao's eyes are full of fear. The shareholders already know Xiao Li's about to sign the contract. Before Xiao Li dies, the shareholders still have urgent things to do. Tonight they cleared their schedules. They're waiting in the conference room late at night for him to bring the contract. If he lets Xiao Li go because of a mistake, the shareholders will eat him alive. Still no answer from Lawyer Zhao. What could make Mr. Zhao so furious? When Lawyer Zhao hears this voice, his eyes suddenly light up. It's Xiao Li. Xiao Li's back. You better be glad you didn't try anything sneaky. Or else I would have totally. Lawyer Zhao stops halfway. When he sees Xiao Li walking toward him, he looks totally stunned. He just swallows the rest of his words. Xiao Li actually stood up. How? Was it the person he went to see just now? Some kind of high-tech drug? Could it really bring Xiao Li back to life? No wonder it's a 200-year-old mega group. They have the resources for this kind of stuff. No need to look anymore. Those three won't be coming. I admit it's impressive you can stand. But you really shouldn't have come back. Do you really think things are the same as before? Just because you say so, the Dream World staff will listen to you? You're too confident. Too naive. Too stupid. Security. Take him back to his room. Today's contract. You'll sign it no matter what. Sign or not, you have no choice. After Lawyer Zhao finished, more than 10 security guards looked vicious. They slowly closed in on Xiao Li. They blocked Xiao Li's way. The lead guard reached out to grab him, trying to hold him down. Suddenly, Xiao Li's hand turned into a claw. His sharp nails sliced through the guard's throat in no time. All the guards were stunned by this. Their faces filled with fear and disbelief. But Xiao Li kept walking. With every step, 2 guards ended up injured. Blood gushing out. They were dead silent. Lawyer Zhao's jaw dropped slowly. He looked on in horror. His legs started shaking. Send them a message. Tell them you're almost there. Okay. Mr. Xia, please don't rush. I'm sending it right now. Lawyer Zhao sent out the message he had typed. He looked up, with a flattering smile. Before he could say a word, Xiao Li's fingers slashed his throat. Then he turned and left. He tossed his bloody handkerchief behind him. Lawyer Zhao lost all strength. He dropped to his knees. The white handkerchief landed on his head, blocking his last bit of vision. How come it took so long to deal with a sick guy? Zhao Chulin is useless. That's Xiao Li we're talking about. Did you forget how badly he ruined you? Or how you begged him on your knees? After the lady messed with Xiao Li, she hid in a remote villa. That night she woke up. Her bed was soaked in blood, with her pet dog's head inside the blanket. She was scared out of her mind. The next day, she went to Xiao Li and begged for forgiveness. The whole company knew about this. What employees didn't know is, there was also a male model she had brought who died. She had been laying on his arm, but the model's eyes kept staring at her. That gray, lifeless look. She could never forget. Say another word. Stop fighting. It's a good ending. Xiao Li finally gave up. Once Xia Qiming takes over, Dream World will be ours. Where'd you come from? Let's be clear first. After Xia Qiming takes over, I'm leaving Dream World with my team and my money. Dream World hit its limit years ago. Hoping it makes more money is just wishful thinking. It's nothing but a pipe dream. Xiaoli has kept us down for years. Finally, her time is up. Now I can finally rise to the top. Some of them want more power in Dream World. Even more control. Some want to start over elsewhere. In short, Dream World is like a cake on the table now. They're just waiting for lawyer Zhao to bring the knife. Right then, someone knocked on the meeting room door. Everyone started smiling. The door opened. When the shareholders saw who came in, the smiles froze. What did you just say? Xiao Li's voice was cold as ice, aimed right at the lady's heart. Everyone stared at him. A second ago, they were calling Xiao Li names. Now that he's here, no one dared say a word. His face was burning with shame. All the humiliation Xiao Li gave him finally exploded. Xiao Li's ALS and heart disease are real. He will die. And soon. Stop pretending, you bitch. Your time is up, sickly. Dream World belongs to us. Not you, the one about to die. That woke all the shareholders up. Even if Xiao Li can stand again, that's just a miracle, nothing more. His illness is already a death sentence. At that thought, the shareholders straightened up. You're getting bolder and bolder. So bold, it scares me. Dream World failed because of me. Everyone stared in shock. It's not shocking that Xiao Li hit people. What's truly crazy is, Xiao Li clearly isn't sick. Otherwise, how could he be this strong? Mr. Xia, this has nothing to do with me. It was all their idea. We were just afraid Dream World had no future. So we asked lawyer Zhao to come up with something. Did lawyer Zhao do something that made you misunderstand? If Mr. Xia did it, then he did it. Are you really going to ask your killers to get rid of all of us? Humph, I really want to wipe you out. But why would I tear down the foundation of Dream World? Yeah, World Dream still needs us. No matter how many mistakes we make. Can Xiao Li really kill us? World Dream won't survive without us shareholders. Without our resources. It would mean total ruin. There's a saying in Xia country, things turn when pushed too far. World Dream's already peaked. It will fall soon. Breaking up World Dream now is the best move. I've already found a great new project. But everyone needs to try something fresh. Found a good project? No way. Is it real estate? It shouldn't be. Real estate in Nanhai hit its limit long ago. My father had two last wishes. First, to find our childhood family photo. Second, to push World Dream shareholders to try new things. I can't do the first one. Grandpa left everything after he died. Only that family photo disappeared. As for the second wish, I didn't have the ability before. But now I do. No one understood what Xiao Li was saying. People's hearts are easiest to spoil. Hardest to see through. How does he have the guts to say all this? Next, Xiao Li showed them. His pupils slowly turned blood red. Bat-like wings sprouted from his waist. He bit his finger. 8 drops of pure blood shot out from his fingertip. Blood essence. Landed on the foreheads of shocked shareholders. Sank in slowly. What's happening? Ah. My head feels like it's exploding. Mr. Xia is a vampire? And he's making us vampires too. How is this even possible? Vampires, those myth legends. How could they really exist? Xiao Li does have the power to turn people into vampires. That power's called the first embrace. The main difference for these new vampires is, they aren't sworn into service. In this world, only a vampire ancestor with the mark of Cain has the power and authority to fly. Xiao Li was feeling weak. Turning 8 vampires in one go took a toll. It hurt him, but he had to do it. The shareholders must unite. Only then can we really help the competition club. The new goal for World Dream Group is competition. Mr. Xia. My 2 long, slender legs crossed elegantly. The pose was smooth and graceful. She went back to looking human. Her pale, slender fingers cupped her pretty face. It's the mother. The old man's body trembled hard. His wrinkled face looked shocked. An unstoppable bloodline pressure crushed everyone's hearts. They had a gut feeling. If they dared rebel, the mother would die instantly. Not even a soul left. Mother Xiao Li smiled even more. Then the door opened again. A red-haired young man walked in. His name was Xia Qiming. Xiao Li's younger brother. Sis, why aren't you dead yet? Oh, the food's here. Now the 8 shareholders suddenly felt intense hunger. That hunger made every cell twitch and ache. The shareholders totally lost their minds. They all lunged at Xia Qiming. Xia Qiming finally realized. All the shareholders had turned into monsters. He couldn't escape. The vampire matriarch pinned him to the ground. Sis, save me. If I die, the Xia family line ends. I am the immortal Xia family. We don't need heirs anymore. She spoke so arrogantly. It shattered all Xia Qiming's hope. On Handafu Street, Nanhai, police lights flashed. The police set up a cordon. A few lab-coated staff entered the scene with equipment, checking the corpses. The dead looked really bizarre. 2 dried corpses wore security uniforms. Their faces and shoulders dragged for so long. Bone showing through now. Who could imagine someone would, after killing, dump bodies right in the city? The strangest part is, the man who dragged the 2 bodies into Handafu Street. He died too, looking thin and sickly. His face stayed twisted with lust at the end. Like he'd been drained by a woman. About 10 minutes later, a van parked next to the scene. A few plainclothes officers got out. Entered quickly. The leader was a buzz-cut strong guy. He smoked by the car. His name is Luo Quan. Nanhai Public Security Bureau's investigation captain. Right behind him, a girl with long, straight black hair. Li Mu had met this girl. Her name is Li Mingyue. Class president when Jean Meiting was in college. Now Luo Quan's apprentice. Li Mingyue entered the scene. Then ran out pale and threw up next to the car. Hold it in. Don't throw up yet. It'll feel a bit better. That's part of the job. We see all kinds of gross stuff. Just then, a plainclothes officer ran over. Handed Luo Quan a random report. Luo Quan took it. Flipped through quickly. Both victims died from massive blood loss. But it's weird. No injuries on the bodies. Shouldn't be so much bleeding. What about the other one? Is he the killer? Must be him. Because only his prints are on the victims. That's it. But here's the weird part. His death was even stranger than the victims. How so? He lost tons of protein and hormones. His brain was flooded with dopamine, plainly speaking. Too much sex. He died from losing it all. So, sudden death. The coroner said he was doing it right before dying. Is that coroner nuts? Camera footage shows. He was dragging bodies until he died. How could he do that at the same time? Li Mingyue frowned too. These 3 deaths are way too bizarre. There's another weird case lately. 8 people vanished already. Last night. Police used tech and investigation. They all last appeared at a ruined temple on Westside's outskirts. That night, the Public Security Bureau sent people to investigate. Using tech methods, they found traces from 8 individuals. But those 8 people vanished into thin air. Today Luo Quan planned to take Li Mingyue to the outskirts of West City to check it out. Didn't expect this kind of situation. I think it's just too absurd. So I secretly reached out and touched his crotch. I swear, based on my experience, he definitely wasn't before he died. You mean you touched his, you know? Yep. Write me a 2,000-word reflection tonight. I'll be pretty busy today. Go to the West City outskirts first on your own. If you can find any clues, bring out all nearby surveillance, that's your reward. I just don't believe it. There's no way these 3 just appeared in Nanhai City out of nowhere. Lin Mu was sitting at the tea table inside the bar. A hot cup of tea by his hand. Steam rising from it. He held a newspaper in his other hand. No signal in the shop. Only printed news from outside gets in. Jean Meiting bought this paper early this morning. These past few days, Jean Meiting's style had totally changed from when they first met. She looked almost like a different person. All those thoughts she had tried so hard to suppress, acting obedient, and even pretending to be some kind of pet, were all forced down by morals and ethics. But now it's different. Society's rules and people's opinions no longer mattered to her. Her soul was under the control of a terrifying man. She became Suzuki's slave. Like she'd finally ripped away the last layer of cover, letting out those secret desires from deep inside, totally unrestrained. Jean Meiting slyly glanced back at Lin Mu. A look of disappointment crossed her face. My master really does see me as just his slave. Just housework. Buying breakfast, buying the newspaper. Nothing flirty. No desire. Not even a man's impulses. Maybe I should be bolder, more daring. How would Suzuki know that Jean Meiting has this fiery drama playing in her head right now? He just focused on reading his newspaper. This was a paper from a few days ago. Famous singer by Shasha suddenly died at home. Why not call the cops? Did they think it was underworld revenge? Afraid the killer was a rival, so they didn't dare? So they didn't dare report it. Looks like Bai Shasha's father plans to take revenge himself. Suzuki gave a cold laugh and kept flipping through the paper. When he got to today's paper, his eyes turned deep and dark. A shocking murder on Handafu Street. Public security is investigating closely. Past managers probably never did anything so outrageous. But I did. Because my approach is different from theirs. Past managers only had 3 tasks. First, exchange soul power. As long as you have enough soul power, the manager has nothing to worry about. Second, recover forbidden items from ceremonies. That's only when there's no choice. Without recuperating them, the manager gets cursed. Third, contain new forbidden items. This is basically forcing a bull to pull a heavy cart. Every wild forbidden item is super dangerous. Even if you're immortal, managers still find it tricky.